Well, hello friends and welcome back to my channel. I'm Renee and I'm so glad you're here. We've been doing all kinds of goodies lately. Today, my goal today, I want to do some Snoop Dogg Billionaire bacon. Now, I like Snoop Dogg. Though I don't listen to his music, I love him and Martha Stewart cooking. I'll tell you that right now. And his Billionaire bacon sounds like a dream come true. Okay? We're going to put some together. And then we're going to do rotisserie chickens. I'm going to show you how easy it is to make rotisserie chicken in a bundt pan in your oven. Simple. And I got a homemade rotisserie seasoning recipe for you as well. And then, friends, we're going to make a beautiful chocolate ganache cake. Because I've had people say, oh, I want to see you make that chocolate ganache cake. We're going to make one. It's real easy. So let's get busy. I've got my recipe right here because, of course, I don't know this one off the top of my head. For our Snoop Dogg Billionaire bacon. I think that would be just absolutely fantastic. First off, just to snack on. Secondly, I think that would be delicious in a BLT, you know? So, we got our big thing, our big package of bacon. It only calls for 8 slices. So that's what we're going to do. And then I'm just going to cook the rest off plain. But we're going to put our spices together. So you're going to want nice, thick sliced bacon. And this is what I got from Meijer. And no, it's not cheap. This was on sale, actually. And it is 2.5 pounds, and it was $12. So that's a pretty good deal, you know, for being on sale. Anyway, so in our bowl here, we're going to add 1/2 cup of brown sugar. And to that, we're going to do 1 teaspoon of pepper. Oh, this stuff is going to be divine. And we're also going to do 1 teaspoon of red pepper flakes. Okay? And I know you're all saying that's heartburn on a plate. I bet it is, but I bet it's going to be good. We're going to mix this all up. Because then we're just going to slather this on the bacon. Actually, you know what? I'm going to get in here with my fingers and mix this real good. Okay. It smells good. Alright. Now, let me move my glasses and let me get a tray over here. I've got a tray lined with parchment paper and I got a rack on it. Okay? We're going to open this up. Okay. I'm going to wind up cooking all this, so it's perfectly fine to open it all the way up. Man, that bacon is thick, friends. Ooh. Wait till you see. Look at the thick. How thick that is. Beautiful. Okay, we're going to lay 8 pieces out on this. Okay, there we go. Two more. You can come in, mister. You always can come in here. We got 1 more slice. Wait till you taste this stuff. We got all 6 of those, or 8 of those on there. I'm going to cook this bunch up plain, because this can go in the freezer cooked. And that way I'll have it for, you know, I can cut it up for potato soup or salads. So it'll all just be cooked in the freezer, and it's nice to have. All right, let me throw this out. Okay, so now we're gonna set that aside. Okay, now you can see this bacon. It's beautiful. We're just gonna start putting this on the bacon, and then we're just gonna pat it. I'm only gonna do one side. I think you can do both sides if you choose, but I'm only gonna do one side of this bacon. Look at that. All right, now we're going to pat that in there. Beautiful. Look at that. Okay, let me wash my hands. Okay, friends, we're going to set our oven to 400 degrees. Okay, and we're going to put these in this cold oven. Both. That's what the recipe says. So it says to time it for 20 minutes, and if you need a few more minutes, you can add about 10 minutes to it if you need to, but don't burn it. So we're going to watch this rather closely because I've never made this before. So we're going to time it, and I'll be back when that's done, and we'll try that. Okay, friends, while our bacon is in the oven, I'm going to get this chocolate ganache cake going so that it can go in the oven after that's done. This thing is divine. All right, so we're going to start with 1.5 cups of sugar. Okay. Then we're going to add 1.5 cups of flour to that. And I need, I'll just use this. I got my flour all over here. So there's 1. And 1/2 cups of flour. And then we're going to do 2/3 cups of cocoa powder, and I need to do this differently. I'm using the dark cocoa powder. You can use any you want, but I'm going to use a dark. There's 1, and there's 2/3. Okay. All right. Okay, and then the recipe calls for baking powder. I need my glasses on. 1.5 teaspoons, which would be a 1/2 tablespoon of baking powder. And 1 teaspoon of baking soda. Okay. Then it calls for 1 teaspoon of salt. And I've got instant coffee. It calls for a teaspoon of instant coffee, and it also calls for hot water. So I just mix the two. And we're going to go ahead and give this a mix while that coffee's brewing. I got a couple little lumps in there, but that's all right. Okay, perfect. Now we're gonna mix. We're gonna put a little well in here. Okay. We're gonna put 1 egg in here. We're gonna put 1 cup, half cup of oil. We're gonna do 1 cup of milk. We're going to do a 1/3 cup of sour cream. My sour cream is almost gone anyway, so. Okay, 1/3 cup of sour cream. We're putting that a little bit in there. We need a teaspoon of vanilla, and then our coffee. I'm going to mix this up first. I'll put that hot coffee in there because I don't want to cook the egg. Okay? So just start mixing that. And just mix it the best you can. You can use a hand mixer if you so choose. I'm just going to whisk it by hand. Let me get this good mix. Okay. Now our hot coffee's going in there. Oh, that's going to make this beautiful. And just keep mixing till it's nice and smooth and incorporated. And it's going to be moist, especially with that sour cream in there. If you don't have sour cream, you can use plain yogurt too. We got that mixed up really good. Let me mix it just a little bit more just to make sure. Okay, perfect. Okay, friends, now you can use a 9x9 square pan, or you can use, I'm using the 9-inch round pan. And I'm not going to layer it either. I am just going to bake it in there, and then we're going to cover it. I got chalk on my face, of course. We're going to cover it with beautiful ganache. All right, so we're going to pour this right in here. And make sure you scrape your bowl. You don't want to waste none of that. Okay, beautiful. Now, I'm just going to give it a couple little taps just to get the air bubbles out. And this is going to go in a 350-degree oven for 35 to 40 minutes. And our bacon is almost ready to come out. All right, friends, our beautiful bacon is done, and oh my God, it looks and smells phenomenal. So, we're going to make Mr. a sandwich with that beautiful bacon. We're going to put a little bit of mayo on his sandwich. He likes just a little bit on each side. We're going to do a little bit of lettuce on here. And a couple nice slices of tomato. And watch this, we're going to use some We're going to break this in half. Isn't that beautiful? I want to that one right on top there. Gorgeous. Okay, we'll put the top on there. I got a little paper plate here. We're gonna cut this. And take a look, friends. Beautiful. Mister, you gonna come and try your sandwich? Let's see how this bacon tastes. I'm gonna try this piece right here. See that? That is so good. Oh my goodness. No, they call it Billionaire bacon. Want to taste just the bacon? That's good. I'm gonna cut. Yes.
Good, friends.
While I'm making this sandwich, friends, I'm going to tell you, our cake is done. Our cake is cooling. We can't put any ganache on top of that until it's completely cooled. Our bacon's all done, and our chickens are still defrosting. So, as soon as that's all done, we'll be able to finish up our goodies we had to do for today. And end the day with beautiful rotisserie chicken. Isn't it lovely? Put a little bit on the other side. Just a little. Oh, I think this is great. I like a lot of lettuce. I want thin tomatoes. There we go. All right, now, we'll see if I can't get another piece of this. I am just going to break that right in two, right there. Put my other piece on there. I think that's all that I need for it. That is wonderful bacon and homemade bread. This is my homemade artisan bread.
And seeds give it a nice little kick.
Take a look, friends. Isn't that beautiful? Yeah, the pepper flakes on there. The red pepper flakes. All right, let's see if I can take a small bite of this. That's really good, isn't it? Well, the regular bacon is still in there. I can turn that off. It'll finish cooking as the oven cools down. This is wonderful, friends. What a nice little lunch. Gosh, try that bacon. When I first saw that recipe, I thought, that brown sugar, because I don't like sweet food. But it's not sweet, is it? It's not sweet at all. It's got a nice little spicy kick to it, and that's what we like. I like that. You should really give that a try. So, I'm going to see if the little girls want a sandwich. and then I'll make them one. And we'll all go sit and eat.
Mm-hmm.
You're almost done. You want another one?
Huh?
You want another one? Mm-hmm. He always needs 2 sandwiches. All right, friends. So when everything is cooled, that we can get to that cake, we'll take care of that cake and put the ganache on it. And then after that, we can get going with our rotisserie chicken. Okay, friends. Our beautiful cake is done. So we're going to make our ganache to pour on the top. And then it's going to have to cool completely before we can dive into it. So I've got dark chocolate. I've got dark chocolate kisses. You can use any chocolate you want. I just want dark chocolate. We've got 2 cups of dark. Try this again. We've got 2 cups of dark chocolate. And I'm just going to melt this in my microwave. This is how easy it is to make ganache. Ganache sounds like it's something that, oh man, I'll never be able to make that. It's hard to pronounce and forget about spelling it. I'm not going to be able to make it. But ganache is easy as pie to make. All it is chocolate and cream. That's simple. All right, I got that open. So we're going to use 2 cups of dark chocolate and 1 cup of heavy cream. And that's going to be your ganache. So what I'm going to do with this, and it fits in beautifully. Well, hello, sunshine.
Hi.
Are you going to eat cake tonight?
Maybe.
What you doing?
Coming over.
Yeah, want to say hi to friends?
Hi.
They probably haven't seen you in a while.
Probably not.
Did you run? You're all
Yeah.
out of breath.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so beautiful.
On the way to that shop, Liberty ran to me and I ran to her and we hugged.
Now, we made her daddy, we made her daddy a Snoop Dogg Billionaire bacon, lettuce, and tomato sandwich. Did he like it?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said, "Oh, that's so good."
It was so good. I love feeding him. All right, we're going to go and we're going to melt this in the microwave. When you melt your chocolate, I'm sure everybody knows, you melt it. I do mine 30 seconds and then 15-second increments until it is all melted. That way you won't burn it and it won't seize on you. Okay, friends. You see our ganache is done and it is smooth and it's beautiful. So what we're going to do is we're just going to start dumping it, pouring it right over our cake. And every bit of it's going to go on our cake. See that? Gorgeous. And that's beautiful, friends. Now, this is just going to sit till it sets up. I'm not going to touch it. If anything, I'll move it to my sun porch where it's nice and cool, or I'll make a spot in my refrigerator. But we can't touch it until it's completely cool. So I'll see you back here when we can dive into that. Our cake is set up. So we're going to see if I can get this apart. Ooh. Then we'll peel our sides off. Oh my goodness, friends, there's our beautiful chocolate ganache cake. You can't see it, it's dark. Look how gorgeous that is. Every slice you make, friends, make it with a clean knife. Go. And there you go.
This is for me.
Gotta stand over here. Is that good?
It's really good.
It's like rich.
Mm-hmm.
Too rich?
No.
Good?
Yeah.
Is it good? Yeah, take it home, somebody suffers.
Yeah.
My friend Tracy would say, that's terrible. I gotta take it home, somebody gets sick. You like it, Tootsie Bell? You want to try it, Papa?
No.
Okay.
It's been Matilda. Matilda.
Matilda. Oh. It tastes like the cake from Matilda? I don't want a whole piece. I just want to taste yours. That is like decadent, isn't it?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're going to love this, friends. Make sure you give that recipe a try. It really is easy to make. It's just tedious. Okay, friends, we're going to put our rotisserie chicken together, and I'm going to show you how I do this on a bundt pan. But first, we're going to put our seasoning blend together for our rotisserie chicken. So we're going to do 2 tablespoons of salt. And we're going to do 1 tablespoon of paprika. And then we're going to do 3 teaspoons, actually it would be a tablespoon of onion powder. Okay. And we're also going to do 1.5 teaspoons of garlic powder. Okay. And then we're going to do a 1/2 tablespoon. No, it calls for a tablespoon of thyme. I think that's too much. I'm going to do a scant tablespoon. Then we're going to do 1.5 teaspoons of pepper. So we got 1.5 teaspoons of pepper. We're going to do a 1/2 teaspoon of cayenne pepper. You can omit that if you want. And then we're going to do 1 teaspoon of rosemary, crushed or ground rosemary. And that's it. And we're just going to mix this all together, because this is what we're going to rub on our chicken. And you're only going to use about 2 tablespoons of this per, or 1 tablespoon per pound, 1 tablespoon per 2 pounds of chicken. Excuse me, I am so sorry. So it doesn't take much, but you want it all mixed up real good. Okay? And that's how it looks, and I do think I'm going to put more rosemary, or paprika in there. So you could do 2 tablespoons of paprika. I love paprika. When I do chicken, I like lots of paprika on it. So, like pepper, I love paprika. Alright, so we got this all mixed up. You can barely see it because of the shadow, but it's dark. Ah, sorry about that. There's a shadow on my camera, so you're not going to see it too well, but it's beautiful. Alright, I'm going to put my spices away and we'll get our chicken going. Okay, friends, I've got a 5.5 pound chicken. So, I'm going to just start sprinkling this on here, because we're going to rub this all over. So we're going to need about 2.5. Just give it a good rub. We're going to need about 2.5. Actually, I'm just going to put it right on this board. we're going to need 2.5 tablespoons of rotisserie blend, seasoning blend. Just rub that on there real good. Okay, now that we got that on there, I might put a little bit more on there. So I can get the outside of these legs, because every bit of this is going to be browned. Every bit of it. It's not going to be laying down. Okay, friends, now that we got this all rubbed down beautiful, I got my butt pan with a piece of aluminum foil to cover the hole. Now we're just going to set this chicken right on that hole. And that's what's going to hold him in this pan. Okay? Now I want this back up on top here. I'm going to put his wings, tuck them in the back. So see how he's sitting there? And I'm going to put a little bit more of this in my hand and get this rubbed on him. Okay? Beautiful. All right. Now this is going to go uncovered in your oven. You could put potatoes and carrots or onions down in here, but I'm not going to do that because I'm going to debone this entire rotisserie chicken and I'm going to use that for other meals. So this is just going just like this in my oven, 375 degrees for an hour and a half, and I'll see you when it's done. Okay, friends, take a look. Our chicken is done and all cooled down so I can work with it. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to lift it right out of here. See where it sat? I'm saving all this beautiful juice in the bottom of it. I'm going to mix that with my meat when I package it. So we're going to pull this out of here. This is done. And it's still probably warm on the inside. It's still steaming. But it's crispy skin and it smells wonderful. And what we're going to do is we're going to cut this up. Look at all that juice come out of there. Find that joint. Maybe. There we go. We're just going to set that aside until that cools completely so that I can go ahead and debone it all. This friend looks wonderful. Well, so that's what you want to do, then that's what we'll do. Goodness sakes, come on. There we go. There's a couple of these. Oh, here's a piece of the meat. We're going to try this. This is hot. Such a wonderful flavor. Oh my gosh, it's got a good flavor. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and cut the wings off because I want this all to cool down. Beautiful. And I don't think I'm gonna try and cut this all down because that's really hot. I'm just gonna let that breast cool right here. Okay, there we go. We got part of the back there that'll cool off because I'm not wasting any of this meat. So we're just going to let that cool off. And I know Mister's going to eat the skin because I'm not going to package that with my meat. So he likes the skin on the breast. The rest I'll give to Peaches, the skin. And then we will package all this meat up once this is cool. This is wonderful. Tender. And that flavor from that rub all went through it, the seasoning. This is good, friends. All right, so that's going to cool. And then I'm going to package it up. And then we'll be done. I'll give you a hunk of the skin. Hold on, and I'll give you a piece of the meat to go with it. You can tell us how it tastes. There.
That tastes like the Myers and the Walmarts.
Dumpster birds. We call them dumpster birds. But they're good. It tastes just like their rotisserie chickens. That's a good seasoning blend, friends. Make sure you keep record of that one. Okay. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to work on deboning this. You want a piece of chicken?
I'm good for right now.
Okay. All right, then I'll keep right on deboning this. And then I'll see you back here in a few. Well, okay, friends. That chicken turned out fantastic. So did the Ganache and the Snoop Dogg Billionaire bacon. My God, that stuff is to die for. That Ganache cake, oh my Lord, is that rich and decadent. And you must try it because it really is easy to make. The rotisserie seasoning blend, perfect. It tastes just like, actually it's better than the store-bought, but it tastes a lot like the spices they use on the store-bought ones. So good, except the chicken is so much more tender, and I know that's bad English, but it's true. Anyway, I got 3 nice quart bags of that chicken when I deboned it. So I'm going to put these in the freezer because I'm going to use these for the chicken pot pie filling that we're going to do in another video. Anyway, I'm going to list all the recipes for these in the description box below. I hope you give them a try, especially that Billionaire bacon. Oh my gosh, was that excellent on a sandwich, friends. I will see you in the next video, friends. And as always, thanks for watching.